parlay.
But not only do I have to if you took me up to a casino and you told me pick the best 6, which fighters are going to win the best way, 6 out of 12 fights.
Yeah.
I could even do that more likely, right? They only give me 50 grand, bro, and they give everybody a salary. So I can't just pick the top 6 favorites of a card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I pick one favorite that's 10 grand. Now I basically pick 2 underdogs every time, plus get the other 4 fights right. It's just very difficult.
It's weighed against you so that they continue to make money.
It's lucky. Yeah. That's why I tell everybody, if you got $1, just go on DraftKings and don't even know nothing about UFC. Just go on DraftKings, put $1 into the $50,000 one, and just hit six guys, bro, just see what happens.
So what sounds to me what they're doing or what they have to do to make this type of thing eligible across all 50 states,
yes,
is that they make it that fantasy.
They have to make it fantasy.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, because when you broke it out for me like that, it seems so extra, but also makes sense when sports betting isn't legal everywhere.
Now let me explain something with DraftKings to you, brother. That's like that here, right? But if sports gambling was legal here, then you would have DraftKings Sportsbook, which is the same thing as DraftKings, part of the app that you would be able to mobile bet individually then once it's legal.
Right.
So when you go to them places like when we went to the UFC bet in Philly, people are making live bets off of their phone. You know what I mean? Using DraftKings.
Yeah.
So just another reason why I'm saying that DraftKings boy. I'm telling you, man. I think it's Apple, bro.
Yeah, I'm fully inclined to believe with you because DraftKings was also one of the first into that market. You know, when they started coming out with this type of sports betting thing,
See, I've done my research.
It's like sports betting light.
But listen, here's the thing. FanDuel was actually first, bro.
Were they first?
FanDuel was first.
Okay.
And I just would, if you got time one day, bro, just download both of them, and just go on them.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, bro. Where like something's wrong in their coding department or something, Like the loadout is not clean.
Yeah.
It's not even close competition.
So
I think these are going to be the sole fucking. I don't want to give too much away up on it. God damn it. I think it's going to be a soul gambling site, basically.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think what will happen across the board is you'll see companies, casinos, bars, whatever, adopt that platform and use it as the main way that they run their whatever type of events that they have at their setting and whatnot.
Listen, but everybody knows how big ESPN is, dude. ESPN is the king of what you want to be with, and DraftKings got ESPN, bro. That's what I'm trying to say, This is like DraftKings is making some moves, dude.
Yeah. I know 100%. And
so like when you're on ESPN and you're seeing commercials for DraftKings, bro. When you're watching UFC on ESPN, you see DraftKings on the corner of the octagon. They're everywhere, bro. They're promoting. And you go on FanDuel, right? Like you go on DraftKings, you can specifically, so it has every single sport on there, but you can specifically go to a thing called free pools where you just play random shit for free for money. So it's like it'll tell you like 10 cities throughout America. Is the weather going to be this over or under? And you got to pick all 10. You get them right, $500 if you're first place. Like shit like that, right? All types of shit. NBA playoff, you could play for free. You get it's not a huge giveaways, but they always give it. You go on FanDuel, there's nothing like that, bro. They don't do nothing free like that, dude. Yeah. DraftKings is giving away capital, bro.
Well, and I'm not even sure if FanDuel's publicly traded. Maybe there's an acquisition company that trades, but...
Well, that's what I was looking at with DraftKings, too, because their acquisition company, basically. But they have a lot more, what did they say? Activity word.
I forgot I think I know what the holding company is. I can't remember it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I have it wrong. Oh, wait. I think I remember what it's called. There's an acquisition company I believe is in charge of that, but I'm gonna finding it, so maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, no, like I fully agree with you, man. It's just find the right play to make on that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Now,
do you want to risk it all?
I think at 9, that's a smart buy. You buy that early on. You buy 20 shares of those. Now they're worth 50. I mean, you clear out.
We're definitely late. right? But I think still. Not even midway, bro. I think that this is going to be like a 200 plus shared stock, Steve. I
Well,
really do.
that's what I'm
I really
thinking.
do,
That's what I'm
bro.
thinking as
Like
well.
within 2 years.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I'm thinking they're gonna. I think they're gonna.
But you
explode.
told me that the long call is more expensive. So I'm like, why even do a 2-year call?
Because you're paying for time.
Right. So, but here, why pay for time when I can just diversify my portfolio, right, with medium and short term calls, trying to predict that, but also why acquiring stock, like you said. You said
Well,
you got $50, just grab a stock.
So if for some reason, let's say next week, DraftKings was a slash and half, have a crazy dip, then you could get some really cheap
I
longs.
would buy.
You could buy, or you can get some really cheap longs.
If it
but
dipped, I would buy stock, bro.
So I think
50 is just too much. You know what I mean? Because they about to spend $500. That's 10 stock.
Yeah,
I could take all my savings, bro. I could try and buy 30, 40 stocks, something like that. But still, it's like, what is going to be my net gain on that?
And that's the thing. I don't think it'll be much at all because this company still needs time to grow. So
and years.
And that's why I think something like an option would be a play on it, because I think the election is going to heavily sway that stock price. I mean, you get 3 more states. You don't even have to get all of them. You get 3 more states that legalize the sports betting. I think you already see a 10% increase, 20% increase into that type of stock.
January 2021.
You could. You'd have to look at the pricing for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're paying for that time, and the more like
you want the stimmies to come out too, though.
And that's another thing. Stimulus. And
2 months after election, month after election. I mean, the stimulus could come out really any day. You don't really know. They could strike a deal any day.
Stimulus is pretty much already guaranteed, I believe. You're already guaranteed to get that going. It's just a matter of when now.
Mm-hmm.
The only surefire thing to play on right now, because we don't know what happens after the election with the stock. You know what I'm saying? You could see some retraction, some correction until it gets its foot in the ground and actually gets set up into other states and whatnot. I mean, Michael Jordan was a big thing for it on getting on the board. I think that's a very good thing, because for one, you have a board member with lots of capital, and you also have a bettor and a gambler himself. So I think he'll see to it that app is literally the go-to place for gambling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
But I don't know. I don't want to sound stupid, but like from what I can see, bro, he actually only made just one good business decision. That was Jordan going with Nike, and he didn't even want to go with Nike. He wanted to be with Adidas. Other than that, a lot of things, bro, he hasn't been very good at, like specifically basketball. Like,
that's not what you look at, though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
like he doesn't run a successful franchise, though.
It's enough news to get it going in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like I believe it had like a 2 to 3% increase on that news alone. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty. I mean, that's a pretty big increase. You know. But like I said, you would have to look at the pricing to see what makes sense. And at a strike date that doesn't seem too far out of reach. Because I think going at a strike price, anything over 70 is just like crazy at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you'll get really cheap, but I mean, you're gonna be looking at like a fucking 30% increase to get anything over 70 or some shit.
But 70 is doable.
Yeah. Because right now, I mean, it's flirting with that 50. It was up to like about 60 something about at the end of August or so.
Today it hit 59.
Did it hit 59 today? I didn't even look today.
It was, or maybe it was yesterday. Yesterday it hit 59, bro.
Because I think DraftKings is definitely 100 smart buy, and I think most people aren't looking at it that closely, because I mean, like, unless you're a sports bettor, I don't think it pops in your head. You know,
I don't think people know the difference, the gap, bro. To me, it's like in the beginning when you like were one of the first people to see like an Apple and an Android, like you just know that one is a lot cleaner and crisper and better, bro. It just is. Yeah. Maybe one day the other ones can equal, but right now they're not.
Yeah, and I mean, like it's tough for me to say because like so I haven't been like I wasn't taking in any information, reading stuff, or keeping up with anything the whole time that I wasn't on Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? So like the state of the market, like you do have to learn that like kind of like landscape on, like, because like you do get a feel of where things are going, what's moving what, and how it's moving. Like you do get a better picture of that rather than shooting blindly based off information that only you can read. And I mean, like if you Google it, you'll find 10 articles why DraftKings is a buy and 10 articles why DraftKings is
overpriced or something,
or avoidable. Exactly what I'm saying. No one really fucking knows, but I do. Like I feel you. I feel really good about where DraftKings will head in the future. You know what I'm saying? Um,
That's what I was thinking. Like,
and I think there's need to be
so
made.
I usually put up 50 a week. I was like, what if I just bought a DraftKings stock a week?
You could do that. I think you could definitely do that.
It can't go below 50, right? It can't. It cannot go below to where,
There.
like, in the long run, you get what I'm saying? Like, it could dip
Oh
below
yeah,
50, but
yeah.
it's always going to be able to bounce back above 50.
I mean, like it went live over a year ago and has seen nothing but year-over-year gains. Well, it's only been 1 year, so I mean, like it's literally up. It's literally up like
In
500%
all
or
its
some
year.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So but I mean, like you haven't seen it stunt even with coronavirus. It didn't stunt too hard. So I mean, like I think what you're looking at right
You
there
could still bet.
is confidence in its performance.
All you need is sports. And one thing we've seen is they're going to fucking figure out a way to play them damn sports.
Well, it's so the way I'm looking at it right now is if we were in an era where casino gambling was illegal in most of the country, like 100%, which I mean, like, kind of is, I mean, but like, there's like one or two safe havens, and then there's a bill on this thing, like in 13 other states, to allow casino gambling, and it's like, okay, well, I wouldn't look at MGM Grand and not think to, that would go up once it passed. You know what I'm saying? Like it all makes a lot of fucking sense. Um, the likelihood of it getting passed and allowing sports betting in most of these states, I think, is very fucking high.
It's high, but you
Yeah.
do gotta realize there's two different votes. Casino betting doesn't mean sports betting.
Like, what do you mean, like betting in sports?
Like just like
Right.
with Maryland, they have casinos right now. You can't bet sports there.
Right, yeah.
So casino gambling is allowed here, but sports betting isn't.
That's
It's a
what I'm saying.
different vote.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what's on the ballot is the sports betting.
Right, but it's been almost 10 years since those casinos went up. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, are we going to see casino getting legalized in those? And it takes 5 years to get sports betting in those states. Because at that point, then my call isn't even working.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess you could see something like that. But I think off the initial news, because that's the one thing you buy the hype, you sell the news. So like you buy the hype of like like it seems like there's a lot of hype behind it, and like once the news hits, I think you'll see a lot of people try and enter after the election. But I think after the election, once things because what typically happens, it has a lot of build up to this one particular what most stocks seem to do. They have a build up, a run up to a particular event, because people buy, or sell a bunch of shit. And then usually this event happens, you see another, hype buy, you buy into it because, now it's legal. I now think it's going to go up. It'll rise a little bit and then it'll fall, it'll retract a little bit to kind of like correct itself from this crazy volume that's experiencing. But almost, 9 times out of 10, you see it once it has that kind of initial dip afterwards, it will start going back up. And then after that, I could only imagine that more people would legalize the type of betting.
Right.
So I think, and then so as they continue to gain, so like this year, next year, their revenue will easily, as long as stuff gets legalized, will be easily double what it was this year. Once you get more users onto it.
Hogan's got to go to get some sports gambling.
Hogan doesn't like it.
Apparently,
the best thing I think I've seen so far.
Apparently, Hogan said that he'll never be governor of a state with sports betting.
The best thing I've seen so far is
if that's true,
they're hyping up this bill to get it passed, and they're running all the same shit they did when they came to the casinos here in Baltimore. Where they're like, yeah, all the extra revenue is gonna go to the schools. Revenue's going to the fucking schools, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you'll see, but it's still good for Maryland. You want to keep that money here. Like if
everyone around us legalized it, bro.
Exactly. So
not
you have
a single
to
one
keep
is
that money here.
Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania.
The worst thing to do in the highest median income state is to allow that sports betting money to go out.
That's what that commercial I was telling you about said. That's what it was like. It was like we're just there's so many people, and like the couple sports betting things I'm in. People drive up to Delaware every Saturday, bro, and get their bets in for the week, for the whole week. Not just that NFL Sunday, you know what I mean? Yeah. They bet Thursday night, they bet Monday night, they bet the NBA. All their bets going to Delaware.
Yeah. So that's why I got going on right now. Like, it's like once you like you kind of get into it and you kind of see how shit's moving and working and like you kind of like settle in. Like right now I'm just trying to like I jumped and I tried to make some moves that are really quick based off some little knowledge that I had. And I'm fucking myself up, whatever. But I mean, like, I'm gonna be back on it. And I believe, I mean, my opinion doesn't mean shit, but I do believe in that fucking move, bro. And I think you should make a move on it. I think it would be smart. How much money you can make, I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
Just get 5 of them bitches at least, right?
Yeah.
Get 5 of them. Just get 5 DraftKings stock.
I'll get some with you. Just be like, let's see what happens.
Let's ride
You
it.
know? Let's see what
Let's
happens,
ride
bro.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's buy DraftKings stock Friday, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to do. Let's get 1. Now we're in it. Now we're in it. Now we're moving days. I got my free stock. Now I got my DraftKings stock. I got my portfolio. My portfolio is health insurance and sports gambling.
And one thing I've seen some people talk about it, you know.
But you know, my free stock has really seen a growth. I mean,
didn't.
For what it is, I got it at like 87 cents or some shit, yo. And the other day it was like 6.23.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I was thinking, I'm like, I'll run this bitch out. Maybe
I remember the same thing. I remember like because I had my Robinhood account since like 2018, but I never used it. I had flirted with the idea. And I remember you pick your free stock. And I remember I picked this one stock. It was $5 then. In 2018, it was $5 when I sold it last year. When I just got it
free stock.
Well, I got it on my portfolio. I was just like, I'm tired of looking at this thing, bro. It was like Zynga. It was set there like $5. And if you look at the 5-year chart, it's nothing but this for 5 years, bro. Or it just doesn't go down. It doesn't go down.
No one's working on that.
I'm like, what's in it's found its spot. And it's chilling there. You know what I'm saying?
That guy's making money.
Even a $5 stock is still like a multi-million-dollar company. You know
right.
So you know, it's like, oh, there you go. You know, you're doing well.
He's a millionaire and he's happy with what he's doing, or she. He or she, however it may be.
Either that, or I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, cause like you think you understand how shit might work in the market, but like, you know, there's a lot of illogical things in the market, bro. I mean, like, cause as far as I'm concerned, as far as what I've seen, the markets could do what the government wants the market to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I've seen, bro. Like literally, everyone, it's like almost, it's pretty much unanimous. We should not be the position we're in after seeing the fucking dip that we did. We should, I think, so the SP 500 is like, it's like weighted like it's like 25% of like all the earnings on like the SP 500 is like big technology. So it's all weighted in like one sector heavily, and that's like carrying the whole fund.
I got you.
As these massive tech gains like Apple, you saw that right up to 400 or 500 had a split.
Tesla.
You see Microsoft running up to 220. You see Amazon up there about to go for fucking 4,000. Might see a stock split for them soon too.
I was just
Tesla
about to
running up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So
it's like
during this pandemic, Jeff Bezos became $97 billion richer. It's insane, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a lot of that was him making back the money from the divorce, though. That could have been it, right?
I think so. Yeah, if it's true. I forgot about that.
It says, this is a thing that I haven't fact checked, but it says that they raised prices by up to 1,000% on essential items and denied hazard pay and paid sick leave to over 450,000 of his workers, all while paying no taxes.
Yeah, I believe that was
it's an astronomical amount, if that's true. But regardless, is the fact that like it is a fact that all the billionaires became richer during the pandemic.
Yeah, you know, especially like the Walton family, owners of Target.
It's funny. I'm talking to Kay's other uncle over the weekend, and I'm like, yeah, man, like same thing I told you. I'm like, I really gave up on America this year, man. He's like, never give up on America. It's the best country in the world. So I start giving my little spill, and he listens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, same thing I told you. Where I'm just like, kind of just seemed really corrupt. How they did the stimulus packages, closed personal businesses, and only allowed $1 billion corporations to be open.
Right.
And then for the only time in our life, gave us a check to spend, but you can only spend it in 10 places basically total: grocery store, Target, and Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's funny because at the end of there, he eventually starts kind of coming around. He's like, "You're right," you know. He's like, "It was really kind of corrupt and fucked up." I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, he ain't gonna give up his love for America. He is what he is, but I mean, I still love America. But I just thought that shit was super sketch, man. That shit was just so sketchy that I'm just like, I mean, no matter where you go, you're gonna have sketchy shit going on. But I ain't never been fucked like that. Well, I guess people would say, how can I be fucked up? I got a check. I guess the fact that, number one, I was an essential worker, didn't get no pay. They incentivized unemployment, only allowed these billion-dollar corporations to get the checks they gave. And now at this point, it's funny. I was just talking the other day. I was talking about a lot of things to her uncle, you know. And I was talking about number one idea that popped in my head was like, I feel like our age, our generation should be able to opt out of Social Security tax at this point. I feel like we're kind of paying for them because it's something that clearly we're not going to have.
Mm-hmm.
We are not going to have Social Security. So at this point, why are we paying that? We should be able to opt out and just say, hey, when we do hit 65, you don't got to pay for nothing for us.
Yeah.
It is what it is. God, I know it ain't going to be there. So I'll put myself for the next 50.
Yeah, that's the thing that I always thought was confusing. I was like, they said they were gonna like cut fund to like Social Security and stuff. I'm just like, why aren't we funding it? Like, is that something I'm paying into to then receive back at some point? Like, that's
right.
From my understanding, that's how it's supposed to work.
Right. We're not getting nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're saying you're making cuts to Social Security, it's like, all right, well, I'm just paying less tax to Social Security, just putting less away. But then I don't see what you're accomplishing by cutting that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like,
when I hear you started taxing, when I heard that they stopped taxing Social Security, I was thinking, y'all motherfuckers must have a lot of Social Security money. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. If that's the one thing you stopped, y'all motherfuckers must have a lot of Social Security money because there's no way you would stop it if you didn't have the money.
I remember I had like a 401k meeting at work and they're talking about it. And they had this thing about Social Security, and they're pretty much what they were saying. They were saying the same thing, but it was less doom and gloom. It was saying 75% of people up to like 2075 or something will receive Social Security, but by 2092, no one will be getting Social Security. You know, just because there will be no money left into it. And I'm just like,
too many people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's a rather, not conservative, rather, what I'm saying, generous estimate of who might be against Social Security, because I think I'll be broke way before then.
Yeah, I would say so too.
It seems like every 4 years when they do some type of cutting to it, or some shit.
I know shit's expensive, but like I'm doing math in my head right now, and it's kind of wild. Like, let's just say half of America's population works, so 200 million, right? Mm-hmm. If everybody just gives them $1, they get $200 million a week, right? That's the right math, right? I'm not confused here, right?
Yeah, because
we give them $7 to $8 a week. So are they getting, $100 million? Like, I mean, if you're talking about like, I'm trying to do the math. Like, are they getting $1 billion a week from us? From the working force? And you can't $1 billion a week for 50, I'm just doing rough. I'm trying to go low, and for 52 weeks. And you can't pay for like healthcare with $52 billion.
That's the thing. It makes sense because like their budget annually is like trillions of dollars. So I mean, like it makes sense that they have.
Let's think about how much they get from us, bro. They take what, 28% of our check?
Yeah.
Yeah. You make $100, they take $28. You do that from 200 million people, and it's like you don't got money for things. It's just crazy.
So I think after my like 401k deduction, like I end up taking after like my personal healthcare costs for my job plan, and then what I take out for my 401ks. I think I'm easily giving them $250 a week in taxes. Between state, local, and federal taxes.
Yeah.
$250 a week, right? Pretty much. And I'm just like, $250 extra a week would do me right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I went.
Yep. That's about what I give them.
Well, you have to worry about the fuck's going on. And then, like, that's the thing I find funny is that, like, you can, like, if you save all your receipts, you can also deduct your sales tax that you paid over the year for your taxes owed that or whatever you're supposed to pay for taxes. So like that's why people save their receipts and shit. So they'd be like, all right, look, the 6% sales tax here, and here. I'm more than paid my way, buddy.
If you save your big purchases, I guess you could do that.
I think you can do all of them as long as that sales tax.
You're gonna save $1,
People do, from what I see, man. People do that weird shit. I
know people say claim your tolls.
Yeah.
And your tools. It's like, all right. I guess I'll save $10 or something.
That's how I was.
Fuck this.
There was this video circulating where like they were talking about like people with OnlyFans, like you can follow as a business, and like say like, like you can like it's so
An
weird how it works. Like,
LLC.
so you get a business, and then like you can write all your purchases off for this business, off your taxes. Like I mean, like that's what I'm saying.
Do they have to pay taxes?
Who?
OnlyFans?
Income. You gotta pay taxes on income. Yeah.
How could they prove it?
That's the thing. Like, is that like if you were to get caught up, like somehow, some way, I mean, I don't know how it works or how you would get caught up, but you're supposed to pay taxes on that income.
Isn't it crazy that bitches like be selling OnlyFans for like $5, bro?
Bro, you know what's even? I got something crazy for you today, bro. I was geeking so fucking hard today.
Give it to me.
There's a girl I used to go to school with. She's a dominatrix nowadays. She has OnlyFans and stuff, and that's what she does. Well, she posted a video of one of her subs pretty much drinking from the toilet, and so I messaged her. But I'm just like, you got me geeking. Like you're like because she was talking all that shit about him and stuff, and like I was like, you ain't to do him like that. Don't post the video. Like damn, like it's just, I was geeking.
My
messing
God.
around, and she was like, well, he paid me to do it. He paid me to do that, like that humiliation, domination.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I started talking to her a little bit more. I'm just like, you don't even have like you don't do anything else with these dudes. She's like, just humiliate them, bro.
Yeah, I know
make them drink their own cum.
That is a way, yeah.
Like, I'm just like, well,
you gotta have a certain kind of person too that's good at that.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you just get paid. You just get paid.
I know a lot of people that used to work in strip clubs, bro, and they all say like
that seems easier.
Yeah, well, listen. They all say that guys always come in, and like when they go to them back rooms, they want shit like that, bro. Like they want them to take their heels and stop on their nuts, or like put something in their ass and shit like that, bro. Yeah. People all got their fetishes. You know what I mean?
I understand, man. But like, it's a specific thing she was talking about which was like the financial domination aspect, where like you just have like I guess like a rather well-off dude.
Yeah, there's that little market. Yeah,
it's just weird.
Like the people that do the feet pics.
But you would have technically, I believe you're supposed to pay taxes on that, on any type of income.
Yeah, you'd be cool with your girl doing feet pics for money, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
$100.
Especially if like she goes out, buys you some shoes. I'm just like, these dudes paid for my shoes to look at your feet.
Your feet.
I'm just like,
how far can she go though?
I think like nudes.
What about like can she what about if she just posts like cleavage pics? Like she ain't, just like all the time.
I'm still paying for my shoes. I'm just like,
take it. Okay. But like she can't be naked.
I think nudity, does it for me. I mean, like I might be okay with the tits. It's like it's tits, bro. It's like if they're a real big deal to you, like it's like. Yeah, I got these J's. So you're just fresh as shit. And all she did was show her boobs like once a week. And she had 200 dudes do $5 a month. And you're just like, you're just fresh as fuck, bro.
It just sucks that it's people like in your area. I know
I'm just geeking, bro. It's definitely tougher to
It's like you're walking in those J's for on a movie date. And two people come up to your girl like, nice tits. Now you're in those same J's in that same city, dog.
Yeah. I know. Bro.
Your girl got nice tits, bro.
That's why I'm geeking. That's why I'm geeking.
Bro. And you're just like, yeah, I know.
That's why I'm geeking.
They pay for my J's. Haha. And they're like, haha, yeah. I'm sure I did. Girl got nice tits. They're making a rule, right? You can't be in a DMV or something.
So I think when you get it to the point where like, let's say she's like, okay, she does that, right? And she's making like $5 a month. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can say much, man. Like you're making some fucking cash. You know what I'm saying? $5K a month. You know what I'm saying?
Before taxes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any tax forms for that.
That's $3,800.
I don't think there's any tax forms for them, bro.
You better fill that shit out. They might come for you one day.
And that's what I'm thinking, bro. I'm like, you have to, right? Like you have to pay on that.
I would, if I made that much, I would just pay my taxes. But that's how rich people are, Like that's why all celebrities have tax problems, bro. Because they just make so much money. It's like, I don't really got to pay my taxes. That's how I fit. It has to be that, right? Like, what else could it be? Because they all do it. Where there's just like so much is going on. It's like, I made 80 grand because I went, to my friend's business acquaintance and gave a speech. I ain't telling nobody about that. You know what I mean? Like even Wesley Snipes was thinking that shit. And eventually they're just like, yo, somebody told us that you did a speech in 88 for 80 grand and we got you on 4 other speeches and now you owe us 3.2 mil. You know? And you're like, I'm not an actor no more and I don't got 3.2 mil and now you got to go through 18 months in fucking jail.
I think sometimes you just got finesses, bro. Because at the end of the day, you know, like most of these people were never rich. So like once they got rich, you know, they were still in the poor ways where it's like,
Maybe
you're telling me I can save 2.3 mil a year?
Yeah, because like they can't. Well, they can't imagine paying
Yeah.
like $3 million in taxes.
You're telling me I'll have 2.3 million more a year?
You would definitely
You
do.
know what I'm saying?
You would
Like-
definitely do OnlyFans of
Well,
just you jerking off, right?
Well, either that or like if your accountant's just being like, look, I'm gonna save you some money, you know? Like you don't. I don't think anyone.
I don't
like,
think you want the sketchy.
But I
account.
barely know how many how
Dude,
much
you're
taxes
making-
I owe on my current income. I couldn't imagine making millions.
Yeah, but you made so much money, just get it taken care of. So nobody can ever take this away from you. You just keep making more money, and you've already made enough money to be
You
happy
would
for the rest of your
think,
life.
you
So
know?
why would?
That's why I think it's greed.
There's only one thing that can ruin this life: prison. I only got one way as a celebrity. I'm going to prison. Tax fraud.
That's why I think it's greed, bro. That's what I really do think it is, man. Like,
would you do an OnlyFans of only you jerking off? Just like angle like that, ain't even got to see your face.
how
Just
much I make?
I was about to ask you that second. How much
I
you
make?
charge?
Because I mean, like, I don't like doing that shit, bro. You know, but I mean,
You like jerking off?
Yeah, no, I like jerking off. I don't necessarily like filming myself and
It's funny
posting
to
on the
say,
internet.
yeah, naturally.
You know, and posting on the internet for people to look at and pay for. You know, that's why I mean, like, it's.
What would you have to charge, Steve?
So like, I'll always
Give
say,
me a number, you
I
son
always
of a
say,
bitch.
Listen. I always say, I'm like if I was a girl and I was bad as shit, I would do what they're doing. You know, I'm just like, I would just go and get naked and pay. You know, but like the way I feel, I'm just like.
But you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it, though,
man. You know, just like, I don't want to do that.
There's nothing they can pay you.
I don't want to do that. There's something they could.
Like, what about if it was like you're doing $25 monthly subscriptions? You just got upload a pic a day.
You know, yeesh, bro.
You know, just film one jerk off a day. Or you can film multiple jerk offs and then post them later.
Yeah, you could.
You have a 4, and you can take 3 days off or something.
Every you do it, you stockpile them bitches.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you want those when you're doing that for a living. You want those ones that are thrusty. You know, you want a thrusty one. So like, you want to be able to post in like the advertisement. First bust in 48 hours. You know what I mean? So like people sign up to that subscription. And it's like I'm gonna see this fucking volcano eruption.
I'm trying to break it all down because I'm just like, all right, think about it. You make $5,000 a month. You know, like literally, you're making 60 grand a year. Like that. Like, that's like I'm to jerk off every day and film and put on the internet. I'm good for 60K a year. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense. I don't like doing that.
It is a pretty easy life, though.
It is easy, but it's like, bro, I just don't like. It's just weird. You know?
I hear you. It definitely is weird, but like,
so I don't
know.
I'm trying to think of something that makes sense now. I'm like, okay, like 10K a month. I'm like, shit, but it's like it's only 120K a year, which is good. You know, you're living comfortable. Like it's like.
I think I would do it for 5K, Steve.
You know,
5K a month.
It just seems weird. You know, I'm just trying to think of it and actually put myself in that business. I'm just like, I make 60K a year. Just jerking
I mean,
off
what's
video a
the
day,
weird
you know?
part, though? You know, the fact that just people are gonna see your dick,
No,
like.
I think just the fact that you're doing that, like the whole sale for you jerking off type of thing. You know, like.
But I think everybody looks at you
really
like you're a
myself
smart
into it.
man.
I'm trying to really put myself into it. Well, yeah, right. You know, it seems
You
really
seem smart.
It seems really smart, but also like to think about. Like, I'm just like.
Like as a guy, I'd be like, "How?" I'm like, "How, bro? What? Like people just do that?" It's like, "Yeah." I'm like, it seems pretty easy. Not what I want to do, but that seems pretty easy for 5K a month.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. I feel weird. I just feel like kind of like a whore about it. You know, you feel kind of dirty about it. You know,
Yeah, you do.
I mean, like there's dudes look at you jerking off to you jerking off. You know, that's in my
They're
head.
gay.
You know, that's in my head. Though,
They're
you know?
gay, dude.
You know,
Not
it's
you.
like someone just touching themselves to me.
But look at these J's.
Look at these J's. These J's.
I got the new J's.
And the chain. You have the chain there.
Supreme $1,200. $1,200 denim.
Bro, why don't y'all have an OnlyFans chain?
400.
Because like that seems like the ultimate flex. You're like, okay,
Only
I
drip.
sold my nudes and I bought this $2,000 chain. I made $5K last month. Like
5K chain, $250 for the
like,
Supreme
I would
Court.
get the OnlyFans logo chain, bro. Like, come on, like that'd be hard as fuck, right? Like, look what y'all bought me, bro. Like, I'm
only getting that if it's sponsored.
You know,
You put me in the top 10% of creators.
Imagine you're
I
walking,
want a chain and I'll wear it.
I guess no one knows who you are, but like, what if someone's walking down the street and you're just like, hold up, I recognize that dick anywhere.
I know those hips.
And they say your OnlyFans name, you're just like.
The worst part is like some girls out with her like dad or something, dude. You know, her family. Somebody sees her and just like, I don't know, says some shit, you know, like trying to be funny or something. Like, did you ever hear about when people were doing that? Like, apparently people were subscribing and sending it to their parents and shit.
They were.
I don't know about all that.
They were trying to.
But a bitch could hurt you enough, right?
So I mean, like, bro,
what would a bitch have to do for you to do that?
But we're just talking incels at this point, bro. Dudes that just like hate women.
No, I'm saying like, is there any point where you would do that? Like, what would a woman have to do?
Like that?
No, not extort. You're not extorting. It's like shaming, you know. Like for
I mean,
a bitch
you're threatening to release images for
you're not
money,
threatening, right? No. You're just doing it. You're just doing it. It's a shame thing, you know. You're shaming. Oh yeah, no,
that's weird.
Yeah. So what would it take? Is there anything, Shorty? All right. So I'm trying to think. Like you walk in, Shorty's fucking your nephew.
Okay.
Does that call for it?
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
All right, you walk in, Shorty's fucking your best friend.
For me, it doesn't accomplish too much. I'm just like
okay,
I'm just so involved in this revenge, like that type of like, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not sure what.
Shorty pushes your grandma down the steps.
I don't think. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You got me. I'm gonna send your news to your Grammy.
What would you do? What would you do if like one day that happened and Shorty's like, I didn't do nothing, you know, and your grandma's like, she pushed me, Steve. What would you do?
It's like this lady pushed my grandma.
No, like your girl.
Oh,
like in the house. You're not there, you know.
Fight her.
And she's crying. She's like, Steve, I didn't do it. I don't know what's wrong with her. I think she got dementia.
Yeah.
What do you do?
My girl says that, or my grandma says that.
Your girl saying that about your grandma.
Like my grandma pushed her, or she pushed my grandma?
She pushed your grandma down the steps.
Oh, yeah, I think
allegedly.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I don't think my grandma would lie about something like that. So I gotta throw hands right there.
And you beat your girl up, you kick her out, and then the next week when you come home, she's like, Clarence pushed me down the steps, and Clarence ain't even there, and you're just like, you beat your grandma up.
You got I don't know, man. You know,
all young white teens.
You threw a dementia thing in there. That's a curveball.
All white teens that want to punch them holes through their walls, they should know drywall, right? Like all of them should be pro drywall, right?
They should know drywall.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something wrong about that? Like, do you think it's weird, or do you think it's like it's
I think it's like a sense of entitlement, like because like, bro. Anybody who came up in a real household, like that was going through some shit, you know, you don't damage your property, bro. Like the last thing you're gonna do, I always say that when people like break their controllers and shit, like, nah, bro.
Does not make
I'm
sense
never gonna damage something of my own property, dude.
Yeah.
I ain't had much in this life. What I do have, I'm gonna value.
Yeah,
break somebody else's shit before I break mine.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yep, no. So I mean, like, for a while I used to think about it, I was just like, is it just like a for a while I was thinking of it as like I was just trying to like think deeper on it, and I was just like, you know, like, because I don't think any kid wants to do something like that where they just kind of like break their shit. And well, I mean, of course, like I think spoiled kids, you know, kids who had a lot would definitely exhibit more symptoms of that. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, those kids usually have a particular thing with them. It's like a perfect combination where they have the mental illness with the funding to like kind of fund the behavior.
Well, that's about to say, right? Because you have the mental illness, right? So everybody has their anger release, right? And you find what helps you with your release, right? That's why I say it's a sense of entitlement, because a lot of people have those anger that need release and they don't punch a hole through the wall, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, until you know you can do this and it's going to be okay. Well, like most people might go out and break a car window or something,
and I think there's different levels of like, you know, of course, you know, all humans are different, but I think what comes down to at the end of the day is that usually people don't have healthy outlets available to them in order to express that type of physical aggression.
Bro, why do you think so many people cut themselves?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big thing. You know, you find that release, you find that worked for you, so you do it again. Same thing. You punch that hole through the wall. It does feel good to punch a hole through the wall if you do. You know, you're like, fuck it, bam. And then you do it again. You do it again. You do it again. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah, of course, like you want to look for healthier outputs for those types of emotions, but I think like, you know what? I think like Joe and Eddie Bravo and them talk about all the time where it's like, you know, like the martial arts,
Yeah.
the
Or just get a bag.
like that. Like I think that's a real necessity where you need to work those things out of you. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, the people that like, I
It's like a
know you.
dog.
Tell me this ain't true. You had at least one person throughout your life come to you and was like, "See my pinky? Broke it yesterday. I punched my wall." Like
Yeah.
you always know someone like that,
Yeah,
bro. It's
exactly.
like I always look at people. I'm like, the fuck, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
oh, not only did you damage your own property, but you damaged your own hand.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
were you angry at? You should have took it out on them.
I was saying, like, I remember, like, I'd be in school and they'd be like, "Yeah, you see that guy over there? He just punched the wall like all night." I'm just like,
What the fuck?
Okay, you know, it's like I hope he's.
So I told you at school.
I hope he's okay.
Punched the wall all night.
Yeah, it's like he just wants. He's waiting for the one day he fights. He just wants to, you know, get his knuckles built up. I'm just like,
The fuck?
his knuckles gonna be tender as shit. It's like
It's the last thing that you need to train.
Exactly. I was like,
That'll come with proper
first of all,
training.
I hope he's okay because it seems like second of all, like he just
He
likes to
literally
inflict the pain on
went.
himself.
He literally went straight to step 24
He likes inflicting pain on
of like
himself.
Thailand. What's he training for? A damn glass fight? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get
What is
his
going
hand in
on?
glass or something
Yeah.
like that. You don't even have to throw a punch, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but
What's
I
it
mean,
matter
like,
how
that one
strong your
girl thing
knuckle
school,
is?
Like, they were like, yeah, he
The
punches,
dumbest shit I ever heard.
he punches big brick walls. I'm just
That's
like,
the dumbest shit I ever heard.
well, I think one, like he just doesn't have the outlet. Two, I'm just like,
But you know how some kids just say dumbass shit like that. Like there was a kid Nick in the neighborhood. Everybody saying knew karate. You know, he got his ass kicked. There was, you know what I mean? It's like shit like that. Yeah, like, there's always something like that. Remember when remember about Kyrie?
yeah.
Remember, I'm just like, don't look him in his fucking eyes. And what do you do? He ain't looking in your fucking eyes. You know what I mean? And you're not like an intimidating dude. So it's like he just was like, I'm a fucking believer.
I was just trying to roll with it. You know?
We did. Remember, you were
like,
like, don't look me in my fucking eyes. One time he did it. He was like, I'm not. And I was like, Kyrie, don't look him in his fucking eyes.
I remember we were like, don't look at his girl.
Remember, like, while we were
side disrespect.
Remember, he was up on the thing and you were it, yo, and like you were below us.
Yeah.
And like I'm looking down at you and like he's like that shit was so funny. He would not look into your eyes, bro.
Oh my god! I mean, it was only until like a couple years later when we were playing Xbox as teenagers again. We used to play Call
Yeah.
of Duty, and we cleared it up.
There's
You know,
some
it was like,
dumbass kids, you know, gullible.
but I mean, yeah. So I mean, like, I think, like, because kids really, I think we have like kids really going the complete wrong way. Not only in like technology ways, but I think school has it all fucking wrong, bro. I mean, the education system, yeah, produces, you know, some gems that's good for some people. But then again, I'm not so sure either because people just work hardworking people would just follow this really bad system if it means that's what they got to do to reach success. So never mind, I'm gonna stick with my original statement: is that it's a bad system to begin with. The whole education thing, the way we teach kids, I think the best thing that we got is like pre-K to like first grade, where you're teaching like alphabet colors and shit. I think we got that right. You need.
I think we give it to like fifth.
You know, I gotta give it to fifth.
Fifth, right?
You know?
We loved elementary school,
once you
dude.
get-
We loved elementary.
That's true. And we worked hard there,
And we
you know?
loved it. We
Yeah.
learned.
So when it comes to like 6 to on, it's like we got shit all fucking wrong. Bro.
Yeah.
You know.
And from once you graduate fifth, you should start hunting. You know what I mean? And growing shit.
I mean, that would make sense. 100%.
Yeah.
You know,
And then we'll come back to
that'd make
this.
more sense than like, you know, like this fucking weird like band class. Like I get your
I don't know if you
the instruments, but I mean
yeah.
like
Well, band's cool if you sign
you
up
know,
for it,
it's
right?
like-
But
yeah.
I don't know if you've
But it's a
seen like
requirement,
did
bro.
you see the big argument that was kind of going around about math? It was
Oh,
like
why math
it
is
was like
in?
this bitch did a viral thing where like she was like saying some shit and then basically became a debate where like shit basically she was on there saying, you know, like what even is like math and shit. Like it doesn't even really make sense. There's no way you can describe it. And like she was getting bashed like shit and like all of these like real scientific, you know, professors and shit were coming forward and they're like, well, it's true. And it's something that we talk about, you know, within the community. It's like, where did what's his name?
Pythagorean theorem.
Like where did
Pythagoras.
he did make that up out of the sky, you know? Like you can't argue 1 + 1 is 2, but like when you start doing shit like that, now you are like creating something. You're creating it, and then it's like, well, of course you're gonna get an answer because you created something. So you're gonna find an answer with it because you created it to work.
Yeah.
You know, so I get where it's like, I don't think you need to be learning like trig and shit like that unless you want to learn trig. Like if you want to be an architect and shit, then you should probably, you know, be able to sign up for trig.
So-
You're gonna need shit like that.
So for me personally, I think math goes a little bit bigger. Like, you know, I mean, of course, it's like a creation, a concept. And I mean, like, it only goes so far. But I think like math, as far as what math is, like, it's all natural. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, like, I'm thinking like shit, like where you're like calculating in an orbit, or like, I mean, like in the universe, if there is one of something, it's like a singular thing. If there's two of, you know, anywhere in the universe, you know, the universal thing across the board, it's like there's one of something, there's one of something. If there's two of something, there's two there. You know what I'm saying? At least in what we can experience. And it only seems like everything that follows once you have that numerical system is all natural after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all natural after that, you know? So for the, I guess what I'm saying is, like, for the first to be there, you know, for the first to be there with, you know, 1 and 2, the Pythagorean theorem is going to be there, you know, because then you can assign one of those numerical values to the distance from point A to B, from B to C, and C to D.
Personally,
I
I don't know enough about it to argue it, but I'll try and find that article and send it to you though, where you can see like basically their arguments about it.
Yeah,
It's like basically they're saying like at the end of the day, like he did invent that. It's not something that's natural. Like you wouldn't find that throughout it because he invented that for that.
In a natural, like, let's say you find a natural triangular shape, you know, like a lot of the shapes of the things that we have here are in the real world. So if you were to go find a triangle, you know, with or without us knowing Pythagorean theorem, that theorem would still apply to that triangle,
right? But it'd be the numbers, not the theorem, I guess. I don't, like I said, I don't know the argument of it.
That's why, like it's weird.
But like, well, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's weird because like it, you know, without ever like assigning anything a numerical value, even creating that system, you know, like that one of something still like one, like it's there in nature already. When you start keeping track of the counting is when we get into like the man-made system, and that's where you get like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're keeping track of that numerical sequence from there, where you're like, okay, if I have 2 of these, what's the next one to come? Well, that would be the third one, you know, like, you know, it's already there, but we're just now assigning it to like a language, pretty much. Like, you know, if you were before math was even around, or even the number 1, you found a triangle, Pythagorean theorem would, you know, it's like it's still, the theorem still applies. It can still, you know, like, it's just weird, you know.
Like I said, I don't feel equipped to make the argument for it. I can't make the argument against it. Really, all I can say is, since you've graduated, have you used any extreme level of math?
No, but
in any aspect of life.
The only
I mean, you haven't did that theory, right? You haven't did that. You haven't did the radius of anything.
I think
you haven't really did any theories.
It is used for is pretty much exercise for the brain. You know, I mean, you know, I think that.
But if I want
numerical computation,
but as a human, right, I want to exercise my brain how I want to, right? And I learned my basic math. So therefore, to me, that should be electoral. You know what I mean? That should be an elective of if you want to do it. Because from here, okay, I'm 16 years old. I've done decided what path I want to take with life. I want to be a police officer, and I no longer need to know that. So now I'm trying to be a police officer at 21. Let's start preparing me for this. This is what I chose for my path.
It's not about knowing it.
I'll exercise my brain in this part that I want to.
I feel 100%. So
that's why so many people just get bored of it, bro. Like personally, like, you know what I mean? I just did not even want to even do that no more. I'm just like, this isn't even fun. This isn't, I'm not happy inside. So
100%.
At the end of the day, why wouldn't you give them the decision to focus on what makes them happy at this point when
100%,
you're saying they can sign up for a war in 18 months?
Yeah. And that's the only thing it could possibly be used for is, like, you know, brain exercise and critical thinking. So I think when it comes down to like the way I look at like reading and language arts, it's like the exercising your brain same way reading a book would be. You know what I'm saying? Like you're opening doors to either different places, or if it's whether it's fiction or nonfiction,
Yeah.
you're learning something. Whatever.
Yeah, you
So
can
I
find
think,
a million
so I
like
think,
that.
and so I think math is like the same thing. Now, people's interest in it is always going to be different, But I think math is still good to teach, because I mean, like at the end of the day, like there's no substitution for working out this numerical equation, in your brain, which really helps your computing skills. I think it helps really with like
You don't think there's
critical thinking
no
skills.
equivalent to that?
I think
You're doing one thing with your brain, bro. You're doing one thing with your brain. You're focusing on one thing, and you're focusing on something that's never going to have you. It maybe in your one of a billion, but it's never going to help you survive on planet Earth. So, like to me, saying of equivalent, well, that's just not true. Point blank, because at the end of the day, if I like books, I should be able to choose to read books. And that's how I exercise my brain. And you can get just as deep complex into a book that can teach you things that you could be trying to learn and have that same work or anything.
That's why
anything, bro. If I want to be a hunter, if I'm out there hunting, your brain can operate just as complex as if you're doing a math equation.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. You're taking equivalent the wrong way. Equivalent as in there's nothing else of hunting will work your brain out. Things will work your brain out. But not like math. That's just like I could say the same thing for hunting, whereas like hunting will work your brain out in a way where there's no equivalent. The math wouldn't be an equivalent of that, greater or lesser.
Right.
I'm not saying,
but hunting would be a survival thing that you actually need.
That's the thing. So math helps you apply and work your brain, and it applies to all those different areas because it helps with critical thinking.
So I'm agreeing.
Skills,
I'm agreeing. Right.
I'm agreeing. Many forms of life, and
that's true. I'm agreeing all the way up to algebra 1. Once I think algebra 2 and beyond that should be all electoral from that. Just simple with the fact that like if I think that is miserable, that doesn't work for me. How much am I really activating my critical thinking, bro? It's something I'm not even interested in. You get what I'm saying?
That's where I think the education system fails people. Because they're not able to engage people, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're not going to engage nobody on that. Steve, I'm telling you, myself, I never want to fucking do that.
How many good math teachers have you had?
Dude, to me...
I've had one good math teacher, and he make me like learning math, bro.
It doesn't matter, because I don't want to do that. I would... Listen, and you can ask any 16-year-old. If you go to any 16-year-old and you say, write me down the classes that you want from here on out that you need to take. Dude, Algebra 2 is going to be 13.
Ask those same people... How many good math teachers they had?
No one's had a good math teacher because it sucks.
Because there's like the education system that we've been in, the teachers aren't good, bro.
Bro.
I've had one good English teacher. I've had one good math teacher.
The school system is
all of 12 years.
The school system, and that's an issue, right? Because when you go to country spots, and it's a better issue because the same teacher will teach multiple grades. That's why I'm saying that this shit is too many grades, bro. You can chop it down. Hey, dude, you can still spread it out however you want, right? Have kids go to school 2 years later. You could still have them become 10th grade 18 if you want to, but like those last 2 years, they should be elected things that you want to do, or be able to chop it down and just say, okay, this is going to be your 18 from here on out. Because I think it's weird how you go straight out of the school right there, right? I'm already for the last 2 years of my life doing things I didn't want to do. I have fun when I'm learning about things I want to learn. Yeah. If you told me like, do you want to take algebra 2 or do you want to take another history class? I would take that history class. I'm way more interested in that. You know what I mean? I would way rather have that. Instead, you're forcing me to do things that I'm just not interested in anymore. And I feel like I have the knowledge to go out here and perform and to survive in the world without needing that. What I'm choosing, as soon as I leave here, as soon as you're done to me this shit that I don't want, you're going to say I'm an adult. And you're going to say I got to go out there and work. Well, what I wanted to do, I should have been working on from the moment that I was smart enough to focus on what I knew. Instead, you had me focusing on shit I didn't want to do. I could have been getting ready to be a police officer and had way more experience. You know what I mean? You could be having different classes like that. Getting ready. If I say I want to be a nurse, shit like that, have classes working upon that. Okay. Why do you have to go pay? That's what I feel like it's all a system to keep colleges at them high-ass rates, bro. Any of them, they're going to say, we gave you this, and then if you want to learn those skills, you got to go pay for them. We're only going to promise you this shit that you don't want.
I feel you. I think the reading and math part, should be across the board, and from there, I think, because I mean, like, especially for like a young developing brain, I think it's really good to have those like kind of like computation, because like I said, it helps you across the board.
Up to 16.
Critical thinking, and pretty much thinking on your feet and with the speed of thinking. I think it really helps across the board.
I agree. I think it's good work.
That's what I'm saying, and I think it's good work for the young brain.
But I don't think you learn when you're not interested.
That's the other thing. Like, what I was saying is, like, I remember in 10th grade I had a math teacher, Mr. Kong. He was this Asian dude. He was a really cool fucking guy, and he made he was a good teacher. He was a good teacher. It made me enjoy coming into class. I remember, like, I didn't cut his class because I actually liked chilling with him in his class, and actually doing shit. And if it was elective from after that point on, and it was like, oh look, Mr. Kong, is teaching the next level up, I'm gonna opt in for that class because I fucking loved that guy. Like, same thing for, like, when I was doing English, like, in 9th grade, I really liked my English teacher. Really fucking liked him. One of the best teachers I had, hands fucking down. And I just had this experience for all, like, excluding elementary school, of a really awesome teacher.
Okay.
If I see that he's taking the next level English up, and it's like it's an elective thing to do the next thing, it'd be like, oh look, this is Mr. Gall, he's a good fucking teacher.
I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. But I just kind of feel like you're only talking about from your perspective of things, Joe. Where, like, I don't want to just speak about my perspective because we always say well, that's going to be one of a kind, just like your story is one of a kind. But, like, not all of us, Joe, were thinking about, like, what classes felt good. Like, for me, me being there meant I had less money, so therefore I had a harder time paying my bills. So I already didn't want to be there because I could work more if I wasn't there, you know?
Right.
So I am here and I'm trying to do the right thing, and you're teaching me things that I'm not interested in. So at this point now, I'm like frustrated with school. I'm not giving you 100% no more. I'm not giving the class 100%. I don't have a good attitude. It could have been the best teacher in the world. It was just the fact that this wasn't something I wanted to learn with everything else that was going on in my life. Maybe it would have been different had the circumstances been different. I get what you're saying. Like, you were like, all right, I'm going to graduate. I'm going to go this whole time. For me, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to graduate. So while I'm here, I need you to be giving me something that I want to make me, like, want to keep coming. And, like, I only had, like, one class that made me want to keep coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this really ain't worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's the other thing is that, like, we have a very kind of, like, broad stroke that this is what works for everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or it's like that's not the fucking case at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you see that. I mean, like, it just doesn't make a lot of
bathroom no more, bro.
You're just like,
I got a bathroom gone by.
What is you want me to go out and make this decision? Well, even then, 2 years ago, I was asking to use the bathroom. Now I'm making this life decision.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That 2 years ago, when you were 16, we should have been like, what do you want to do with your life, Steven? Right. And trying to get you to work towards that goal of, like, okay, these are the things you want. These are the classes that'll help you, to have preparation for that career path that you want, that you chose, and still have the option, just like when you're in college, to change.
It's like, it's like, so. It's like
you should have a major in high school.
College and school, if you look at it, is built all around one thing: the legal age limit.
Yes, the kids are getting smarter. We're getting smarter, bro. That system's kind of ancient. That's what it is. It's designed for boomers. You know what I mean? We've just gotten a lot smarter. We learn a lot quicker, bro, with the internet and all the other things that are present. Yeah. We just learn a lot quicker. I think that the entire process needs to be shorter. You can still leave 18 at the adult age if you would like. I think it should go up, if anything. Definitely not them. But once it gets to that point of, like I said, I think I agree up until 10th grade. Because personally, that's when I felt I stopped learning. Like, where to the point where it was like, all right, now you're repeating shit. Like, we're going over things I already learned and shit. In 11th grade, that's what it was. And I remember teachers were telling me, in 12th grade, you're just going to be going over this stuff. And I'm like, what? I definitely ain't doing this, man. I'm going to work. You know what I mean? Fuck this shit. That's how I felt over, because I'm just, like, bored with this shit. I felt like I had learned everything that they had to give me. And that's okay, right? Like, that's okay. Like, I'm not saying the school system did get. I learned a lot, ABCs and all that shit. I mean, from beginning to end, I learned a fucking lot. You did your job. Now let me start focusing on being an adult before I'm an adult. Well, I graduate. You're 18 when you graduate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think back on it now. I'm like, it was a very strange transition from when I graduated high school to the point where I felt like an adult.
Yes.
So I get out of school. I graduate. I'm 17. It's June. I'm going to be 18 in September coming up. So, I go through the summer. I'm just chilling, and then eventually I start going to school in August to this trade school. And I'm going all throughout here. I turn 18 and I'm still in this school. And by the time I get out of this school a year later, I'm still 18. And I'm like, well, now what? Okay. You're supposed to go to college, I guess. So I would start going to like CCBC. So I go to CCBC for 3 months. And I'm sitting, I complete a semester. I'm just like, well, this clearly is not what I fucking want to do. First of all, because I mean, like all this shit, like I'm going into sociology, which is cool. I mean, I'm going into another English class. That's one of the things you have to do. I'm going into another math class. What the fuck, and it's just like, so I realized really quick that that's not what you want to do. So I stopped doing that. Well, now I'm 19 at this point, and it's like, I still don't even feel like an adult. I still feel like a student where I'm like, I'm supposed to be in school. I'm supposed to be doing something, learn something. I get a job. I worked there for 6 months. It's just like, okay, well, I guess I'm getting ready to go back into school in the spring semester. I ended up going back to school in spring semester, start doing, another English class. I'm just like, well, I don't want to do school. I'm a student. This is when you're supposed to be in class, supposed to be studying, gearing up for some shit. So I'm like, all right, now so I'm gonna drop out of this English class because this is not what I want to fucking do.
Right.
So then I go unemployed for a little while, and then eventually I do get a job in August, my current job that I have now, and it's only up until 1. I can start drinking and going out. Where I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm an adult. That you can go out and drink with the boys. Oh, he's coming over. He's bringing the Ronas. This is cool. Oh, he invited me over to dinner at his house. Well, I'm dinner up here. Just like, and it just like, it was such a weird transition. Where I'm just like, I was battling with this identity. Like, okay, I need to be in school. Like, you're supposed to be getting in school. Then you go get your career when you're an adult. I'm still a kid right now.
Yeah. It's funny.
Well, hold up. Like, well, I missed the transition. Like, I am an adult right now. I just never felt like it. I never really thought of fucking about it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was still thinking about what my next move was. What I'm going to do with my life as a grown up.
Right.
And then next
I'm just doing what you say in the meantime.
Next thing I know, it's fleeting away from me. I missed the transition. It's just
right.
Like, it's fleeting away. I'm just like,
I'm late.
I'm like, oh shit. I got to figure some shit out. I got to figure some fucking shit out. I don't need to be a student.
Lost generation.
I got to be a student. So let's figure some fucking shit out to do. What am I going to do from here, man? I was like,
and it all came 10 years late.
Well, I mean, like, I mean, maybe, but I mean, like,
you should have been realizing this when you were 17, though. Exactly, even better. Yeah. We got it when we were 25.
I mean, it's a very good point, bro. Because it's like you're sitting there, you're just like, okay, when like you don't know when you are supposed to become an adult.
You don't even know what you want to do.
Because in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm supposed to go to school. Once I finish school, I get a job, and then I'm an adult. Like. But when you miss that stage, you're like, okay, I didn't do that. So then I'm a fucking adult now. Like, okay. Like, I mean, that's just it's a very weird transition.
That's
people,
my whole argument, Steve.
Most people, man.
Is why are they doing that? Cut it off, cut 10th, it's called 11th and 12th grade off and just have electorals. A selection of X amount of classes that only have X amount of spots. It is what it is. You have funding. And let those people choose what they want, because personally, I didn't know even what I wanted out of life. Still really don't, right? Yeah. But I would have chose things I knew I needed still, which I didn't feel like I needed that algebra. You know what I mean? Like I thought I would have chose, agriculture. And I would have chose that if that was an option, or metal casting, what I
meant about myself?
Bronze working.
I remember going to CCBC, and I remember I would go to this math class, and on the way there, I would pass a horticulture center. And I'm just like, man, who would pay tuition to go to this horticulture class?
Now you realize.
And I'm just like, I mean, that's probably one of the better things I could have fucking done was go to a horticulture class.
One thing I want to go back over. First of all, what do you not have your birthday on Facebook, bro?
I don't think so. No,
You
I'm not
you
sure.
don't,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know what. I
You
don't know. I
you
have no idea.
don't, bro, because your birthday was in September, right?
Yeah, it was 29th.
But you never told me. And that's what I said.
Because I don't care. It's like
I
just
know,
don't
it's
care.
like,
You know?
but you never told me. So like the whole time as September's going on, talking to Kay, I'm like 95% sure that Steve's birthday's in September, but I kept looking at it on Facebook and it wouldn't show your birthday, bro. So I'm like, it must not be.
Yeah.
So then like September went by, I'm like, Steven's like nothing about his birthday. I'm like, was it like it must be one of like embers or something.
Yeah.
Must be over here. So I go on there. I had to go all the way to your shit and go to your info, and your birthday's not on there.
I don't know.
So it's like that's usually how I have my morning. You know what I mean? I thought it was the 26th.
Yeah. No,
Was it 29? I got you. Well, happy birthday, my brother. Because obviously I'm very late.
No, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, I wish I would have known. We would have gone for a beer or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I went out that Monday with you guys. It was the 28th. I'm just like, this is cool, man. This is fun. I was just chilling, So, that's the thing. Like, that's the other reason I took that Tuesday off. And I was like, all right, cool, And then I was gonna they say like go out or some shit, but I'm just like, oh, those 2 days aren't paid. I was like, but I mean, like,
we gotta go out and get something, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm it's whatever, Like, yeah. I don't like. It's like I don't care anymore. After my 21st, bro, I was just like, yeah, it's cool, but I'd rather not count them. I'm just like, it's whatever, man. Like, it was cool. Like, I mean, like, I felt weird because like Bray even was like, she got me like some blues and stuff. I was just like, I'm glad. I honestly thought about it. I'm just like, balloons is weird, I just always felt weird about that type of thing, I was like, I don't want to be celebrated, It's so weird,
come on, a happy birthday though,
Yeah, I loved it.
Hey, Steve, another year, baby,
Like, you know the feeling where like you're sitting there, you're just like, everyone's singing happy birthday, you're just like,
that's it, bro. We're throwing you a huge 30th, 30th, bro.
30.
We're 30, man. We're putting you in that spot.
I'm laughing at both my sisters for being 30 at one point. I remember when Brittany was turning 30, I was like, look at you. And I remember when my other sister just turned 30. Look at you. It's like, oh,
it's crazy how young you still feel, though, ain't it?
Yeah. Well,
still feel so young.
26.
I feel so young.
That's weird to say, Cause like, I felt like 25 was a big barrier to cross. I'm just like, 25, 26. Whoa.
It's weird to being 26. I always feel 27 for some reason, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, 3 years, but I'm always like, oh, it's not 3 years. Yeah, but it is 3 years. Yeah.
I'm telling people, I'm just like, 26. I feel like it's pretty old, but it's not. I still feel like a fucking child.
I can tell you, I feel like a child. Yeah, I feel like a child, bro. Like a big ass joke.
But I mean, like, is that like? I'm like, that's a good thing though. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not bitter or anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not bitter on.
I'm not a war vet, I guess. It's the only thing they'll have you like that.
I'm talking about bitter, like we're like, you just because you see people lose it pretty quick, man. You see it gets kind of zapped from them. We're just like. Whether they got kids or something, or something like they just recently had kids, or it's like as soon as you hit that marker, whether you get a kid or you buy a house or something, it's like you just flip the switch, and then you just start getting old quicker because you accepted into that like I don't know.
It sucks when someone. I got a couple of old people at work, man. It's like they're just stuck at being miserable now. They hate life, and that's just where they're at, bro.
I say it all the time. Where I'm like, I talk to my friend Jen. She's the same age I am, and I'm like. I can't say it in front of them, but I don't want to be one of them where you wake up and you wonder where the last 15 years of you went and why you're still here. And you only got $2 increases over that period. It's just like, it's like, I can't say it in front of them because they'll be mad at that. I don't want to be mad at that. So you gotta be aware of it now.
I just had this one guy at my work that he was rude to me too many times, bro. He just was rude too many times. Like to the point where I had to snap. I was like, bro. I'm like, why are you always an asshole? I'm like, why are you like that? I was like, it must be so tough. His name's Ed. I'm like, Ed, it must be so tough for you every morning waking up like that and having to try to be that hard of an asshole every day, Yeah. I was like trying to get through to him in that little 10 seconds we had, I'm just like, you don't got to be that every day when you wake up, Ed. You don't got to be this person. It's like, 6 a.m. he's coming in with an attitude, bro. He's never not once been like a nice person, bro. Yeah. Every time I talk to him, he's a dick to me. He's rude to me. Tries to make a joke about me, like to the point where I'm just like, why are you like that, bro? You must hate it, Meanwhile, I'm just going to my hot ass girlfriend, you know what I mean? And my big house, smoke my weed, play my games with my friends. You know, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah, you know,
Fuck my sweet ass 20-year-old. Like, my girls in their 20s. Fat ass wood waiting. Big fat ass crab waiting for me.
I'm gonna go.
A fat ass crab cake.
With my boys.
Hoop with the boys. Getting a dub tonight.
And then, after that, I'm gonna go get fucked up and wake up in the morning and still feel good enough to come to work. Okay?
Fuck you.
You can't do one of those without calling out the next day.
Not even the crab cake.
Exactly.
Not even a 2
Exactly. Hell no. I was like, no,
put your ass down.
I should put you in a fucking
stomach problems.
Cardiac arrest.
Food coma.
You better take your lisinopril.
You got heartache, bitch. You need Tums.
Here you go.
You out of Tums, bitch.
You want some Pepto? You alright? You hanging in there?
I hate people like that though. And then you see some
double knee braced up.
You see some of the old people, right, that are just like awesome. You know, you're just like, wow, man, you give me such a, you know, like, you know, we always talk about it. Who makes you feel good is like them nice old black ladies. They're just like, sweetie, it's okay, you know, and you're just like, thank you for being understanding about my situation. This is a tough job. And I'm having trouble. Yeah, you start breaking out.
At home,
I'm going through a lot of shit. And most of the time when I come in here, people are just rude to me.
I poured for those bleeding tendies.
I did Dollar Tree when I should have did Dollar General. And she's just like, bring it in, sweetie. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Fucking Robin Hood. Hemorrhaged.
It's funny because like when I was delivering, I had so many of those, man. It was so awesome. I used to love some of the people I would go deliver to. I'm just like, you know, you're so cool. Excuse me. And then you go and speak with like the marketing director, and he's like a wound up, stressed out dickhead. And you're just like, see, you're cool because you see how like he's worried about all this work shit. You know, you're just over here chilling.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? He's like, I don't care about this shit. You're like, exactly. This is why you still look young, and this motherfucker like got a coke problem. You know,
right.
Shit, you know.
Well, there's somewhere in between of like you want to work hard still, you know, but you don't want to.
I want to work hard at what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's as simple as that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I'm just like I don't. That's why I'm like, I get a little frustrated sometimes because I'm just like, all right, I want to work hard for myself. Well, what do I got to work on? What am I going to work on now? And I'm like, because there's some things you're like, you know, that you're working on, but you can't necessarily do it at that moment. You're just like, well, what's the other thing I'm working on? You're just like, at least for me, I'm just like,
I'm about to stop.
I'm about to smoke and slap my meat. That's what I'm about to do. That's what I got on my list. You've been
in the middle of reading a damn article, reading a fucking science article. I'll beat my dick. Fuck this. I'll come back. I'll come back to this show. I'll beat my dick.
Slap a kiss my meat. Kiss. Let's go. Like, always come. Yo, I don't know about you like I remember you talking about geeking yourself earlier. I do the same thing, but it's always with saying different things with like beating my meat. Bro, I was like, I'm gonna beat my little dick straight now. I was like, saying shit like that, bro. That's like, and then I'll geek for a little bit. I'll be like, I'll hide up and just do it. It's like, yes. Every time, bro. It's like a little ritual now. It's like,
you gotta say something about it before you do it, huh?
because you know, I mean, I don't know about you.
Beat my little dick right here.
But usually I just get done smoking. You know, just like I'll be stoned as fuck. I'll just be like, so you have a little geek to yourself.
I love all.
You geek yourself. Nah, business. You know,
I'm gonna grab the whole meat. You know what I mean? Shake it. Damn, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Damn, boy. Damn, shorty. Okay.
Okay.
I love those memes, bro. Damn, shorty. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be doing the same way. It's like, you know, I'll be reading the article. I'll just be like, oh,
well,
it's that time.
It's a different time, Braid.
It's kind of like
I'll get this off my mind, and I'll be better at this.
It's kind of the way it always kind of like seems. It's like you're doing that like awkward transition of like, you're like, especially when you're about to make like a move with like a random, you're just like you're crossing that divide on your own self though, but still feels like that. You're just like, oh, that's where we're going. It's like it's
What are you talking
oh,
about? Like
with,
having sex with someone else?
yeah, like you're like you have sex with another woman, like you try to cross that divide thing,
And it's
but, like,
always so
that's the
tense.
same thing with yourself. You're just like, oh, I knew we was doing that. Like,
You ever notice how with that woman though?
Those were my intentions.
Damn.
Those were my intentions.
That
but
feels
okay,
that feels better than that feels better than I thought it would.
Exactly. Just like you're like, that's not why I came out tonight.
I was just thinking the other day, Joe.
That's not why I came out. Yeah.
Damn, boy. All right.
Okay.
I was thinking the other day about how like that moment with a girl though. Like, isn't it funny how quick that moment goes?
Yeah.
Like that moment presents itself,
Yeah.
and it's gone. Right? It's like, and it might never come back. It's so funny, and like, and then you both just kind of like you're like now that you're talking about this moment, it's funny because I was just thinking about it, but like you both kind of like there's moments where like the woman will be ready and like you don't even realize, and there's moments where you're giving it up and she don't even realize, and there's like that moment where like you both kind of are like,
as I say, yeah,
and you take it or you don't, and once that's gone, it's hard to ever get there again, like it's hard to find it twice.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell that to your little nephew.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like when that happens, bro, everything's so easy, so smooth. It
feels perfect, right? Wow,
rolls,
this is just
bro.
how I just beat my dick last night too.
Oh,
this is exactly what I was thinking when I beat my dick last night about this date.
Exactly. This is the perfect scenario.
This is exactly why I beat my dick before I came.
And it's always like, and it's like, so like when you're here and she's here, or she's here and you're here. You still may have sex, right? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're both here, it's that next level.
You're just like,
bro. It's that next level sex, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a transcendent.
Okay,
sex,
sure. You want to fuck with a player?
What do girls? I wonder what girls say. That is like in their head, like that voice in their head. Just be like, what do they like? Like you say, okay, sure. Like, do they have words for dudes like that? Like
that's a good question.
Like
I wonder a lot of shit about that with girls.
I know they don't say no boy or like I'm just like
I always wonder how they kind of are thinking,
like it's in their head they're just like, okay, bro, it's like no, they don't do that. There's no way. Like it's
I always think you got another chalk? Put that in there.
You rolled up, you got it?
I always think like, do they see guys like, oh, I'd suck his dick.
Yeah, exactly.
I get like, oh, I'd fuck him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'd suck his dick. Why'd you say you'd suck his dick?
Or like they'd be like, well, I mean, like I would, but like I wouldn't want to, but I would. Like it's like you see some girls, you're like, I'd do it, but you know what I'm saying? Like I would like
some guys just not seize that moment.
It has to be right, Or they're like looking at this dude, they're like, well,
she's like, you think she looks at a dude and she's like, he's suckable.
Or they look at like they're talking to with their friend, or let's say, would you suck his dick?
I'll suck him.
I was like, I would. And then she's like, well, if he only had 4, she's like, right, he cute enough, I would take it. Or they're like, all right, well, he a little ugly. What if he had a 9er? Okay, they do that.
I can fuck with you.
They do that, it's like, all right, it's a shorty, it's a dude, he's not that bad. But he got a big old dick. Like, dude, what do you do? Like, do
you ever think they look like?
You have to do that.
Do you ever think they'd be like, look at his bulge?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro.
His bulge right now. But 100%. The crazy thing is, like, you're not gonna really have a bulge in most clothing unless you got a hard one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you got some boxers on and some Levi's, if you got a bulge, bro, you either stuffed or you got a hard dick.
That's why I think like the whole sweatpants thing is like, when that comes around for women. It's like if they're really, endowed man, it will be extremely noticeable. Like, if you're sitting there with fucking a 9-inch dick,
you probably would see something. But I'm just saying, I never like, but like when you got certain like boxers on, you'd be like, man, dick ain't poking as much as it was.
Yeah.
Like when I wear briefs, I'm like, Then I've wore other ones like custom designed with Aeropostale and shit. I'm just like, can't even see a man's ball. What's going on behind? Once you put that on, I put the pants on. I'm just like, gotta set my shit right to get the ball. I set my shit straight.
Yeah. No, they definitely have to, man.
But yeah, I mean, if you got like, it's weird. If you got hooping shorts on and someone got a heart on,
yeah,
you 100% are gonna know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just geeking.
Imagine someone backed you down with a heart on. What would you do?
Back you down with a heart on?
Like you're backing someone down and they got a heart on.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't know,
Would
man.
you say
Like,
something?
would you even feel it in the moment though? Like, you like.
What if he's huge, Steve?
I mean, you might have to call him out, bro, and just be like, bro, the fuck.
And everybody's just like, what? Dude's got a
dude's
heart on right now.
Dude's rock fucking hard.
I swear I had a moment like that today at work, bro. I was working with two other guys, right? We're doing this patio in this guy's house, and he's like on the couch, and he's got like his top's out of his covers, but his other half's like under the covers and shit. Bro, and the other two guys go get the glass while I'm doing some other shit on the frame. And I swear, bro, it looked like this guy was jerking his shit, bro. Like, you never know what's going on under the covers, you know? But, like, I swear, I like to think I know the stroke motion, you know? And I'm like, is this guy stroking his shit to me right now, bro? I laughed. I'm like, bro, I'll go. I didn't even say nothing to nobody. I didn't want to assume, you know? But I'm like, I felt like this guy was stroking his shit to me. But like you say, y'all want to say something. Y'all want to call him out.
Hell no, yeah. I might call work and just be like, look, dog, this dude's in here stroking himself.
I got to go.
This dude's stroking himself, okay? I need double OT. I need double OT and time off. This is a very traumatic experience. I mean, like, a lot of times, bro, like when you think it is, it really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't just think that if there was no like real indication. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would like. I'm telling you, bro. I personally think maybe you might find it flattering, bro. You know, I think he was definitely stroking himself to these three young men. I mean, like, cause you know, if he's gay, like that's something that he would find stimulating, right? Like, you got three working men on your patio. Like, I don't know. It's like the same. It's like the same way we're trying to figure out how like women think. I'm trying to find the same way how women think. Like, is that how a gay man might think? Like, look at these young strapping dudes on my patio. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you're thinking. Oh, look at that young guy. You know, he's probably hairless. You know, like
you're thinking if three chicks were working on your patio, right?
Yeah, right.
That'd be hot.
I mean, not even that. I'd be looking like, oh, which one's the baddest? Oh, she got thicky. Oh, they're all. You know, it's like
you one of them there, but you would never jerk your meat.
No. But also, it's different because you're at your house.
Would you try and jerk your meat under, like the covers?
While looking at her, like in invisible.
Where's like the worst spot you ever jerked off?
I would go to.
Where's the worst spot you ever
jerked
jerked off? Let's just get that out of the way.
Worst place I jerked off.
Like where you were just like, ew. Like you just couldn't believe you did.
Oh, ew.
I mean, you always got the work bathroom.
Yeah, I squeezed one out in there one time. Yeah. You've
squeezed it out more than once there.
Nah, it was once, and I was just like, yeah, that was odd. I was like, huh. I think you can control it, man. I think you can control it. You know, I think you'll be okay.
I can't. The Lord cursed me.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you can hold off on that one, bro. You know, so like after that, I was just like, you got no self-control, bro.
Do it in the morning.
You know.
But like right now, you couldn't go 2 weeks without jerking off, could you?
Probably not. No.
Week.
I would like to say I could. Actively thinking about it, passively, no. You know, I mean, like if I was just living my day-to-day life, I would jerk off every day.
No sex, no jerking off.
If I was actively pursuing that, I could.
No sex, no jerking off.
Passively, no. Yeah.
It's crazy because I wouldn't take $10,000 to not bust a nut for the rest of the fucking year.
Not a whole year, no. A week, $10,000, yeah. A
year, not the rest of the year.
No. Oh, from here to January?
Yeah.
$10,000.
I just don't think so, bro. I mean, it's just a part of life, you know. Man, I gotta be a man. No sex.
That's tough. That's definitely tough.
Dude, you know how you get. You know how you get after like 3-4 days, bro?
No, I feel you, man.
You are not who you're supposed to be.
Trust me, I 100% feel you. I mean, 10 grand doesn't seem like enough for the time span.
I might hurt
In my
someone.
opinion.
I might hurt someone.
I've never gone that long, so I'm not sure what the long-term effects are.
Brother, you want at least 12 years, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like once you got it in you, it's like it hasn't been 12
Hey, you
years
go
ever
from-
since I started to put that
You
thing in
go from the
motion.
time you get it in you.
Once you put it into motion, you know what I'm saying. But I mean, if you went 12 years after your first
What's
time,
the longest you
I'd
have
be
one
pretty
since your first
impressed.
time?
As long as I have, that's a tough one to think about. Maybe 5 days tops. Maybe I don't know. I don't feel very confident saying that.
I don't think I can say 5 days.
I don't feel very confident saying that, but maybe I don't know.
What would you say like your number is? Like, have you jerked off 1,000 times?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's a lot though, right?
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, if you jerk off every day for 3 years, it's 1,000
That's
times.
a lot of jerking off
1,000
already.
times right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're probably way
Let's
past.
say you didn't do
Have
that.
you jerked off?
But you've been jerking off since you were 12.
Dude, have you jerked off
Come on
5,000 times?
Yeah, think about it. Think about it.
I just love putting numbers on shit.
Think about it.
Have you-
300,
hold, let's just keep going.
300 times a
Where
year
do you
for 15
stop?
years.
Have you jerked off 10,000? You jerked off 10,000 times.
Do the numbers. No, maybe not, bro. 10,000 times, maybe not.
You've been jerking off since what age?
I mean 12, probably 12 at least.
And let's just say, like, because of the numbers you've did on high days, you could probably do at least 2 a day, right? You could count 2 a day.
I would say so. Let's put into like
So that's about 700 times
put
a
in
year.
the average. I might be at like
It's 700 times over 15 years, Steve.
See me, I'm thinking of a daily average over the past years. I'm looking at like maybe like a 1.6 average per
Two.
day. 1.6 per average
Round
per day.
up two.
No, it's 1.6.
Well, you never jerked off half the time.
You ever not finish sometimes?
Never.
If
If I didn't finish it, I am.
Sometimes.
I get right back to it as soon as my moment presents itself. I must
But-
bust
but
this
like,
nut. I
Let's
must.
say it's an extended period of time, and you go back and you jerk off. That's 1.6 or 1.5.
No, that's 2.2.
Because
Because you actually reloaded it. My power bar reloaded at that time, dummy. So let's say 2 times though, right? So we can just say 350 days. Let's do that, right? We don't even got to do 365. I've been fucking that up a lot lately. Let's just do 350 days counted 2 times, 700 a time. So over a year, over 10 years, dude. 7,000. And you're talking about 15 years.
10,000 times. There you go.
I'm right there with you, probably. It's just crazy to think about that number. Like, has a woman done it that many times? Does every nut count? If they jerk, say if they're masturbating and they come 4 times, does that count as 4 times?
Technically, because let's say you caused those 4 actions, you'd be like, I made her
come 4 times.
Come 4 times.
Right.
4 separate times.
So I mean, a bitch could go probably 7 times sometimes, man. Like,
she might put that number into 1 because it's what matches.
imagine if a girl was just like, that's rookie numbers.
Because I mean, like, let's say you had sex with a woman and you came 4 times in that session, you didn't have sex 4 different times.
Do you want me to tell you something crazy?
Did you?
I had a cousin, right? He was jerking off at 5 years old, bro, consistently. 5 years old, right? He used to wear shorts only in his house.
To jerk off.
And he would jerk off in the middle of dinner, watching a movie with the family.
Okay.
Different techniques, brother. Through the back, you know what I mean? Slip that thing out the bottom and just jerk off while they're watching cartoons, dude. Like he was since he was a kid, bro. So he had a 7-year jump on us. I don't know how many
But did he ever once orgasm though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's still busted. His body's been through the motion. His body been through the trauma.
Because like I know when I was young, like I think all boys go through it. We had like a penis.
I actually didn't even think about that, Steve. You probably was jerking. So what are you counting? Are you counting from the time you nutted?
Yeah, when you
12?
actually orgasm, like, because I mean, like,
you nutted at 12.
Because I mean, like, I orgasm before I produce semen. You know, before I ever
right,
produce
me
semen,
too.
You know what I'm saying?
But you produce semen at 12.
Eventually, yeah. You know, not when I first
You hit
started,
puberty at 12.
but eventually, yeah. Yeah. You know, I remember that. I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
whoa.
But you get that pre-cum at first. You get a little bit of that pre-cum and you're like, whoa, I have never seen that before. I'm coming, I guess. Okay. It's like the first time when you see a hair and the people are just like, so here we go, huh?
Start telling people I can bust your mama's mouth. You know,
you can't even bust, boy. Your nuts ain't even dry. That's your favorite thing to say. Your nuts ain't even dry.
You were making jokes about busting before you busted. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Because you didn't even realize. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
You started busting.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, shit. I always say it was better when I did it. I always say it was like you never had to worry about cleanups. Like when you're 5, you know, you ain't worried about that. You could bust anywhere, like my cousin. You know, even when I was younger, I was probably jerking off at 11. You know, I could be in your shower, taking a shower. I could jerk off. I ain't got to worry about nothing. No cleanup. I didn't even do nothing wrong. Did I even do anything wrong? What did I even do? I busted air. I busted air out there, my urethra. I queefed. I queefed in your shower. I did nothing wrong. But once you start busting, now it's like, oh shit, I'm leaving DNA evidence everywhere I go now. Now I got DNA evidence.
That's the
big semen database.
I think maybe it's just because you're young, but it's like, you know, explosive, like powerful ejaculate. Like, do you get older and does it just start like dripping out? Because I would fucking hate it. I would kill myself. I'm just dripping cum.
I think it's all about how long you wait.
I want to shoot cum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never not shot cum. So I mean,
dude, if I don't shoot cum, they can shoot me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If I'm not shooting, shoot me, bro.
That's what I was saying before. Where it's like you couldn't offer me if you couldn't offer me enough money to take my nuts. Like if it meant I couldn't come. To me, like if I couldn't come, it's death, basically. And I know that sounds so stupid, but like you don't really get it unless you're a man, you know? Or it's like, nah, if I couldn't bust, I ain't living, you know? Even when you get a vasectomy, you still bust.
Yeah, you still explode, you know what I'm saying? It still comes out. Like, I used to think that, like, nothing would come out. You know, it was just like, you just would orgasm. I'm like, that sucks. It's just sterile.
Yeah,
semen,
it's just sterile.
Exactly, it's just sterile semen, you know? But that's what I used to think. I'm like, I'll never get a vasectomy. But I found out you can shoot hot, you know, you can still shoot hot loads.
You know what I always think is weird is like, why do they have to take your balls, though?
What?
Do they take your balls?
No.
So you just clip it.
It's like a little snip, yeah.
Okay.
A little snip in that production for like semen. Because there's still a lot of other liquid that that carries it. It's seminal fluid and stuff. But like,
let me tell you about this fucking movie, bro. You and your girl should watch, bro. It's called The Lie. I thought it was gonna be one of them corny romance movies that my girl was trying to get me to watch, and this shit is fucking good, bro. Got some good ass actors in it. So let me give you the premise. I didn't even finish it, but the guy's driving his daughter to ballet like resort or something.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way, they see her friend on the bus stop. So she's like, "Get in, you can ride with us." They're best friends. And the girl eventually is like, "I gotta pee." So they pull over and they stop somewhere, and all you hear is a scream from his daughter. And you go there, and they're both sitting like on the edge of a bridge over top of like a running waterfall and shit.
Uh-huh.
And she's screaming. She's like, "What you do? What you do? Where's she at? Where's she at?" And she's like, "I pushed her. I pushed her." And yeah, this movie just gets better and better from there, bro. I don't even want to tell you about it because it's one of them movies where it's like I haven't finished it, but it seems like from when I've watched it, just great. But I just want to ask you, like, what would you do in that scenario?
Now you go over and you're
basically, so you're driving, your daughter to a ballet resort. On the way, you see her best friend. She was supposed to be driven by her dad, but they got in an argument, so she's catching a bus. So you say, "Ride with us." So on the way, that girl, her friend, said, "I got to use the bathroom, pull over." So they pulled over, and, he's trying to, like, mind his business. He don't want to look at little girls going in the woods and peeing. So, like, a little time goes by. He's like, "What the fuck?" Goes back there, and he hears a scream from his daughter. He goes there, and he starts trying to look through the river, trying to find her. The best friend's gone. Just his daughter's there. And he's going through the river trying to find her. Like, she's like, she went over. She fell. And then, like, through it all, in the middle of it, she's like, "Get in, call 911. And she's like, "Dad, I pushed her."
fuck?
And it gets better and better from there, bro. It's actually really good. Everybody check that out, The Lie.
I mean, like, I just want to know what you're even talking about, so I kind of wanted to watch it. You know?
Yeah, I don't want to tell you nothing more, but like, what would you do in that scenario
Oh man,
if you're the dad?
I gotta turn my daughter in.
Turn her in.
I'm like, look, she said she pushed her. I don't know. You know, I'm like, I don't want her fucking around me if she's out here thinking about killing people and having irrational killings going on.
So you think like you could turn in your niece if the same situation and like Ariana, it was Ariana,
mean,
you
yeah,
think you could turn her
it's
in?
definitely tough, bro. You know, but
A little different, right?
I think I would. I mean,
Your daughter.
I mean, like, it's like,
And it's one like that was kind of set up where it's like we might better get away with this.
yeah, I get it though, man.
Middle
I'm
of
just
nowhere,
like,
pulled over to pee. Girl was on the bus stop.
I'm like, you told me you pushed her. I'm just like, this bitch is crazy, bro. Like, she might off me.
It's your daughter.
I know too much. I know too. I'm a loose
I get
end.
exactly what you're saying.
I'm a loose end, though.
You're right. You're right.
Whatever
You're
part
right.
of her said that or wants to do that or did it will eventually come to finish the job, bro.
You're right, but at the same time, both of us not being parents, we don't really know what that
don't really
parently
know.
love feels like,
Neither
right?
do I.
Where like it seems like with a lot of parents, it's like my kid can do no wrong.
Yeah.
You know, whatever happens, I'm always gonna be for my kid.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what my kid does.
Yeah, we're just like, don't
You
say
see
that.
mass
Why are you saying
murderers
that?
where
You
their
didn't push
parents are
her.
like,
That's what I'm saying. I think like
he's a good person.
I think this response you would see would be like, why are you saying that, honey? Like, you didn't do that. You didn't push her. What happened? You know?
Right.
No, you didn't push her. Yeah, I pushed her. No, you didn't. No.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it and see because it's good actors, bro. It's not no corny shit. Like
What's it on?
It's on Netflix, I believe. No, it's on
Netflix?
Prime. It's on Prime.
I got Prime.
You got Prime, right? Yeah, it's on Prime.
I'll check it out.
It's
Definitely,
it's one of the movies, like I said, you think would be corny, bro, but it's got two good ass actors in it, bro. And
that
like,
sounds terrifying though.
yes, it's a good situation.
Cause I mean, of course I do what I always try to do. I'm just trying to think about logically. I'm just like, turn her in. I don't want to be near this bitch. And then I'm just like, you probably look at, you're just like, no, you don't say that. You didn't do it. Like, man, that's fucked up, bro.
And she's like, I did it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you a little bit more where it's like she wouldn't even lie about it.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I hated her, jealous bitch. Like, there's all these reasons that she's saying she did it, huh?
They're 11. How old are they? They said. I thought you said they were 11.
I don't know their age. No, I don't know their age. They're teens.
They're teenagers.
Probably 13, 14.
Okay, yeah. So I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it does change it a little bit. But I mean, not really, because I'm just like, okay, you're even more aware than you would if you were like 11. You know, where I'm just like, you did what? Like, you know, like your whole teenager. I'm just like, it just seems, I don't know. Teenager make changes it for me, bro. I'm just like, you know, she's saying she fucking did it. And I don't know.
I want to send you a list of these, a video list of these. They believe there's a serial killer that has stalked like throughout America the last 60 years, taking children from campsites. That's the theory, right? But when you hear a lot of these stories, they don't add up. I would love to get it's only like a 12-minute clip. You hear about 5 or 6 of them just to get a different opinion on it. There's like one specifically that bothers me, right? Where they opened up this camp, bro, in the middle of nowhere, a Christian camp. I already don't like it.
Yeah.
Our boys' camp, Christian, middle of nowhere. 3 strikes, you're out, right? You got to go like 2 miles to even get to this place, like down a road and shit. And there's this boy who's hard of hearing, and he's fishing. And everybody knows he's fishing. It's a straight, wide street. You could see all the way down to the pond where the boy's fishing at. They have dinner, and they send one of the caretakers to go get him. So the guy goes down there. He sees him at the river fishing. He's like, hey, come on, let's go. We're going back to eat. He said the boy started coming. He started walking. He walks for a couple of minutes, and when he looks back, he don't see the boy. And they attribute this, to maybe this serial kidnapper, murderer that's haunted these campsites. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, to me, it just seems so clear that guy should be the number one suspect.
Yeah, last time I see him.
He goes this is how my mind works now with all the true crime I'm seeing, where I'm just like, the last person to see him, bro, is big. That's usually who did it or has something involved, you know?
Yeah.
He came down there. He fucked up by confirming the kid was there. Once you confirm that kid was there, You walked ahead? You walked so far ahead from a deaf kid that you couldn't hear that he didn't come?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is a place where like kidnapping's not likely. That's what I was telling you. It's 2 miles to even get to there. So like for someone to get there, take a kid and get out with no one seeing, like would be super hard. If an animal grabbed them, you should be close enough. You didn't walk away far enough to where like you couldn't hear like a tiger
Yeah, wide open street.
or a bear grab him in a
Yeah.
wide open street, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying this kid came, you walked away, you just looked back and he wasn't there. They never found that kid until he was dead like 9 years later.
So they did find him.
They found his remains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Years later.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so crazy. I'm like, bro, a fucking Christian boys camp in the middle of nowhere. Let me tell you something also that you'll find if you look at the statistics of kids that are abused, bro, you will see it's I don't know the exact percentage, but most cases they target kids with disabilities, bro. Hard of hearing, speech problems, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would go out on a limb and say I bet you they abused that boy, bro, severely, multiple people. Something happened to where like he was ready to tell or something was going on and they killed that boy. And I would have a strong inclination to believe that, bro. It just, the story does not make sense to me. I'll send it to you. Just listen to it. It's only a couple minutes just to listen to that specific one.
Yeah,
but
let's do it. And because I mean, like, there's a lot of questions I have, you know.
There's one. So with that, exactly, right? So there's another one that I already heard about before. It's crazy, like rehearing stories from other people that like it's too much true crime, right? But the first one on there is it's one that's exactly kind of similar, but never made sense to me. Even when I heard it on Crime Junkie, the other podcast did one on it. So basically, this mom, this dad, a son, and a grandpop all go out to this camping spot that they're camping at. And there's 4 of them, right? And they're in the middle, and the kid's there and everything. And then the grandpop says he's going to go fish over here at this pond, right? But they got a friend with him. I forgot. Sorry. There's one more friend. His name's like Isaiah.
Yeah.
Right? So there's the guy Isaiah. There's grandpa, mom, dad, son. So Isaiah's all the way over here at this pond, and he's fishing. And grandpa's over at this pond, and he's fishing. And the mom, dad, and son are in the middle. Mm-hmm. So Isaiah comes back to them, and he's like, man, I'm catching huge fish up here at this pond. You guys got to see it and shit. So they're like, okay. So the whole family, mom, dad, and son, start walking up with Isaiah towards the water. And the mom says about quarter of the way there, she looks back and says, hey, you know, his name's Theodore, I believe. He's like, Theodore, are you sure you want to come? You know, do you want to come? And he goes, no. And he turns back around. And she assumed that he went back with the grandpa. But the grandpa never said he's seen him at all because he thought he went with them. Yeah. So they get up there and they see these minnows in the water. And they're like, oh, the kid will love this. So they go back and they look for the kid. And they can't find the kid. And that kid never gets found until they find his remains dead, right? And I'm thinking so many things about that. Like, number one, I'm thinking accident. Like, I think there was some accident they're trying to cover up. That's the first thing I'm thinking. The second thing I'm thinking is like, well, who's that friend? Because something's just not adding up here. I want to know about that friend more. But there was this like, it didn't make sense about once again where like, how did you go so far away that you never seen your child linked up with your father? Yeah. Like you didn't watch he's like 3, dude. You didn't watch your 3-year-old go to his grandpa. You know what I mean? He turned around and you walked away.
Exactly.
Like that just doesn't make sense to me already, right? Yep. Well, and then a second part that I was picking up on that is they said they went back after they seen the minnows because Theodore loved fish. But this guy came to them and was saying that he was catching huge fish. And the kid was walking up with them after that. Why would he turn around if he loved fish? But you were going to come get him to see the minnows? Yeah. He went to see the big fish initially. Yeah. But you're saying he turned around and now you're going to bring him back to see minnows? I mean, the story to me just doesn't make sense. And no one's ever been charged in that case. And I'm like, I don't know who did it, but I bet you it's one of them. One of them did it. Just like at that other camp, I bet you someone at that camp did it. Maybe it's not the exact guy I'm saying that's what it looks like. Maybe it's not the exact guy, but I guarantee you someone there did it, bro. There's no way. It doesn't make sense. for you not to have that big of a gap and for a kid to disappear in the middle. Just disappear, at a campsite. Just don't make sense, bro.
By some random,
In any way that you didn't hear, even if a kid's attacked by a fucking animal, you're usually going to see a shoe, some clothes, blood, something.
Yeah, how far away was the body on that place?
It's not even at the campsite. And this,
no, that was the campsite.
Like I said, both of them, they weren't even the initial spot where the kids were last seen.
Right.
And it doesn't matter anyway because it's so many years later. You can't even tell if someone moved them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're finding these kids years later,
bro. Exactly. Where
yeah, it's crazy.
Huh. I mean, I would bet that you're right where it probably was the parents or an accident or
someone
something.
there, right?
Yeah,
or all of them made a mistake and are trying to cover it up or something because it just don't make sense, bro.
Yeah, it's extremely odd. I mean, I think the parents would because
no one's ever been charged in that.
What they're saying is that the parents last saw him, the granddad never did see him. So I mean, I would put it on the parents for now. I mean, you're the last one to see him.
But I guess. But stay open-minded. You gotta always stay open-minded.
Of course, you can't rule the grandpa, but I mean,
right? Because what if he did get back to grandpa, right?
Yeah.
And then grandpa did something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe grandpa made a mistake or something, I mean,
so
you don't know, but something happened there.
I think you focus on the parents, and then if not, you gotta turn your eyes to grandpa, and go.
And the friend. Don't give up on the friend. I know.
The friend, yeah.
That's a story they gave.
Yeah.
And which I'm already saying has holes in it. Yeah. So if I had to guess, that wasn't a story. So don't just say he was out of the picture,
Yeah.
Because you don't know if that's the real fucking story. It don't even make sense.
Oh yeah, I don't even know the fucking.
I would love to be able to play shit, man. If I could just play that little, 2-minute clip so you could just hear them talk about that.
You could if we had permission.
I'll tell you what, sound experts are crazy, bro.
What do you mean?
They get these they were like, well, they didn't solve the case, but like the most evidence they have on this one murder is a butt dial. They don't know if it was a butt dial or not, but it's about like a 3.5-minute voicemail. And it just sounds like, when somebody's phone's in the pocket and you can't even hear what's going on. It's just sounds and shit. Bro, they put a fucking sound expert on that shit, and they clean it up, boy. Like, they can tell you how many voices they hear, keywords, not everything, obviously, but like keywords and shit. It's just amazing because, like, you didn't need to hear the cleaned up version, but you got to hear what the FBI released of what their findings were. Yeah. But you heard the dirty version and you don't even hear one word. You can't even tell anything. So, it's like amazing that you have all these, and like the same thing they can do with video, how they can clean video up like that. Like, why don't they already have that in that camera? It's so weird, But the FBI can take it and just make it like, how do they make it something it ain't? Like, to me, that's so confusing because that means that camera initially took that type of shot. Like, it had the ability to show that to you, but it couldn't, basically, right? Then you're able to, like, refine it and access some type of, like, 1080, I don't know, whatever the next level would be now. You're able to...
it all depends on what type of camera it is to begin with. Because, I mean, it's a shitty camera. They can't do much with shitty picture, like, already. Like they can't turn that like HD like you see in like most TV shows. They
can't make a blur, right? Yeah. But like they can clean it up. They could tell like the race of the person or something. Where in there it would just look like squares in the normal camera.
But nothing definite, But I mean, the high definition camera, they can they can zoom in shit, and clean up shit like that because they have a lot more pixels and information to work with. So I mean, they can definitely do it with the newer cameras. But I mean, the other point is that it's simply just expensive for most people. They don't want to pay that much for their shit.
Yeah,
that's why everyone has shitty cameras.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's just simple as that. But I mean, I think in the law, I think it pays for itself.
I think it's pretty. I think it was pretty funny that Trump skipped that second debate. You see that?
Yeah, but he finally tested negative though.
Yeah, but it's just funny that he skipped it because it was supposed to be virtual.
Yeah,
and it's like everybody was saying Biden would skip it.
Yeah, but he did.
Yeah, and you wonder, like, did they jack Biden up that day still? They had all that adrenaline and whatever else they put up in him there. It's like, and he's just like, we're not debating?
What the fuck? Oh, we're not going to sleep now. Yeah, so, I mean, like, he was playing to his voters straight up, man, And he's telling them,
it's funny.
Because, I mean, he's just like, I won't be censored. And they're like, yeah. Because I literally talked to someone.
He always does that.
They talked to someone. They were like, "Well, I mean, I wouldn't do it either because they're just gonna censor him, and make a big fake of him." I'm like,
he just wants to be able to cut people off whenever he wants. Is really what that is. But like how like he's like, I'm not talking anymore about stimulus packages until after the election. Then, like the next day later, he tags Nancy Pelosi like, "I'm ready to do a deal right now. You send me a deal right now to send citizens $1,200. I'll sign it right now." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, that's renegotiating technically,
Yeah,
like now
exactly.
you're on Twitter." It's very weird,
That's just
bro.
my problem with it. With like, it's like I don't care about political affiliation, but I also care about like kind of like blind ignorance, where like people are just
Right.
like, where
Yeah.
it's like he's being tough with the Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Do you see that Biden keeps going up in the polls though? Well, Hillary was up in the polls. And everywhere I
polls are
go, I
bullshit.
see a lot of Trump. I see
Polls are
some Biden, but I see
bullshit.
a lot of Trump.
Polls are bullshit. I think that was proved in 2016. But I mean, technically, she won the popular vote when she didn't win the electoral college.
Right.
So I mean,
But
there's
then he
that.
says 3 to 5 million illegals voted. That's
So
why
I
it was a
mean,
gap.
but I mean, I still think he's taking polls seriously because, I mean, like they could turn out to be correct.
Oh, he takes polls seriously.
You
Yeah.
know, so I mean, like I think the whole stimulus thing is just trying to get people riled up for him again, man. Like it's just, it's funny because I mean, like you see, like he has people kind of like wrapped around his finger at to a point. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's very cultish.
Smart people, bro.
Yeah,
It's smart people.
it's very cultish,
Wrapped
bro.
around his finger like that. Because you know what he is? He's like, he's loyal to those people, and that's how they look at it. Like, like Dana White, he's like, he was loyal to me, I'm be loyal to him, and basically that's what I'm gonna do. And that's another thing he always does is like when he thinks there's a chance of him losing at something, he'll start creating reasons he lost before he loses. So he'll always be like, I know illegals are gonna vote. They can't tally the votes right, blah blah blah.
The other thing that bothers me is that those same people who are usually like that, on both the left and the right, are usually both like, hey, fuck the government, fuck a politician, it's bullshit and corrupt. I don't fuck with the government.
Yeah.
But then you start simping and turning out for Trump and shit. Like in like a hat.
Dude.
Like whoever in their life puts a political flag on their their window,
Their boat and shit,
flag.
yeah.
No, like a window flag
Bro.
flying around through the city. Like who the fuck does this? Biden or fucking like.
So I told you with the new line I was working with, basically I got to play it for the first time last Thursday. I went out to a bar and like it's just me and Kay, and like we're surrounded on both sides by Trump supporters. So I'm trying to find mutual ground for us to talk, because I'm talking to these people about other things. I want to be able to talk about this too. I don't just want to avoid politics if that's what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do it, but I don't want to just argue. So I'm trying to figure out like how to talk to them. And we're just finding a lot of mutual ground, right? Of like they're talking a lot and I'm talking a lot, and we're kind of finding like things that we both agree on, right? So we get to this point where like I've been talking about a lot. I'm like, well, why are we gonna we all of us at right now, right? I'm like, I hit them. I'm like, do we all agree here that politics are corrupt? And they're all like, yeah, fuck yeah, politics are corrupt. I'm like, so why are we debating it right now? That's what I've really been confused on. That's really been my statement of like, if we all agree it's corrupt, why are we debating it? Why do we even care about Trump or Biden if we all agree it's corrupt? We all agree that. So what's the point? Why would I even get mad at you anymore? Why are you mad at me while I didn't get mad at you?
Exactly.
Makes no damn sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's everyone on both sides where like they ride for their candidate like super fucking hard, but still don't even believe in the system that they're fucking, like I said, with their fucking like, I mean the best word I literally call it is like fucking simping, bro. Like you're just fucking like riding this dude's dick. Like what the fuck?
I'll tell you one thing though. I was like, yeah, he's probably definitely, he's a funny ass president. He's probably the funniest president I ever seen. And it's funny because even the Trump supporters were like, nah, bro. You must not know enough about George Bush Jr. He's the funniest president of all time. So I'm like, I do remember him saying a lot of shit like the fool me once thing. You ever heard that one?
Nah.
He's like, he tries to say that, fool me once, the old fashioned, like, thing. He's like, fool me once, fool me once. Like we say in Texas, fool me once. Can't be fooled again.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of that J. Cole song.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that. That's a real thing, right?
Yeah, like,
so they start playing a comp of him on the phone and shit, bro. And I'm telling you, he is definitely the funniest president of all time. And we must have forgot, yo. There's like two things that he said that sticks with me. There was like one thing he said. There's one part where he's like, "There's terrorists all across the seas right now trying to kill our soldiers, and so are we." And everybody's like, he's like, kill them. You know, he's like tries to save it, but like, he realizes, you know. And there was another one. There's like so many of them, but just two of them I remember. There's another one where he's like, I believe that humans and fish can coexist. It just made me geek so hard, bro. This shit was so funny. Shout out to George W. Bush, damn funniest one of all time.
Though, because he's been in a lot of like media recently.
He's redeeming his name now, but
I mean,
he's always been funny.
I mean, nothing.
I always want to tell everybody this. Don't ever forget this, people. When 9/11 happened, they took Cheney to the bunker before they took Bush. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Keep checking us out.
Like, share, subscribe.
We'll be back soon.
Y'all have a good night.
So, you know what?